Alright, so today on Who is Deadliest is the reshoot of Viking versus Mongol, two of the most despicable, most evil, and downright just destructive armies in history. And before we get started, I just want to say that to all the Viking fanboys out there, please keep an open mind that the Mongols are a very highly trained and very effective force as well. And to one in particular whose comment I care so less about, I don't even care enough to remember your name. I know that the Vikings used arrows too. For one, they showed a clip of that on the show, and two, you can easily find that if you did some research as well. So to all the Viking fanboys, just keep it down a notch is what I'm trying to say. And it's not like I let the Mongol keep their horse, because if I did, that wouldn't be fair, especially since most of the weaponry that the Mongol use can be used very effectively off of horseback. So with that being said, let's get started with the weapon comparison. Short range, that one is the long sword against the Ild. This one is going to the long sword because it has two sides instead of the Ild's one, so the killing power will probably be increased. So by that reason, I gotta go with the long sword. And next up is mid-range between the great axe and the glaive. This one is a very hard edge to assign. You see, when the great axe comes down, then the glaive can just reverse that, but the great axe is a very lethal weapon. So as far as this matchup goes, this mid-range matchup, I may have to give it to the glaive just because it may be the slightly more superior weapon, and it will go straight through the chainmail armor. So next up is long range between the spear and the bow and arrow. No, I did not change the spear to a bow and arrow because I don't feel like I have to. But anyway, the bow and arrow against the spear, this one, bow and arrow takes this one. Longer range, greater accuracy, so edge, bow and arrow. For special weapons, the shield against the flanged mace. The flanged mace is good and all, but it is no samurai kanabo. So as far as this matchup goes, this one goes to the Viking shield because, well, also it is both defensive and offensive, so that's another reason why I have to go with the shield. Alright, so that was kind of short, but let's review. Short range, that was the Viking. Mid-range, that was the Mongol. Long range, that was them again. And for special weapons, that was the Viking. Alright, so which one do I think would win between the Viking and the Mongol? Well, with the Viking wearing chainmail and the Mongol wearing, what's it called? The leather armor. Neither armor is really the best armor, especially the chainmail, because it sucks against a piercing weapon like the bow and arrow and the glaive and stuff like that. So as far as this matchup goes, this one's going to be very close, but I think I have to go with the Mongol. I think that their armor is slightly more superior, and their weaponry is also slightly more superior as well. And let me know what you think about this one between the Viking and the Mongol, and if you disagree with my opinion, please be very nice about it, because I like to be a nice person when I come on YouTube, and I don't want to have to, well, run into some fanboy that I have to curse out and put in their place because they decided to come on my show and tell me what to do and tell me how to do my job. So as long as you don't do that, we won't have any problems. So anyway, like I said, let me know which one do you think would win between the Viking and the Mongol, and I'll see you next week with another Who is Deadliest. Hope you like this reshoot.